Hello, I'm Brad Hadank, and welcome to Sportspage. In this program, we talk with the athletes, coaches, and staff who work to make University of Central Missouri Athletics one of the premier college sports programs in the MIAA and Division II as a whole. This is Sportspage. Our first guest today is Jennies Volleyball Head Coach Peterson, who is in her third season as head coach for the Jennies. A true Jenny for life, Coach Peterson has a combined 17 successful seasons with Jennies Volleyball, both as a student as well as a coach. The 2023 MIAA Coach of the Year, but also a member of the UCM Athletic Hall of Fame, as well as the MIAA Hall of Fame. So please welcome the 9th head coach in Jenny Volleyball history, Peterson, to Sportspage. So, Coach Peterson, I want to start with all of your time at UCM. What brought you to UCM, and then what's kept you here for all of those seasons?
When I was going through the recruiting process, I wasn't sure if I wanted to play volleyball or softball or both or none, but I was pretty sure I wanted to play something. And so when I came on my visit here, they offered me a scholarship to play volleyball and softball, and so I didn't have to decide. So that kind of made my decision pretty easy, and I came to campus and didn't really go anywhere else here. I knew that this was the right fit for me. The atmosphere, my mom swears that I picked Central Missouri because we're red and black. But I think it's, the winning tradition and just the family culture that we have here.
And you had so much success as a player for the Gens, 149 and 39 overall record as a player, 2-year team captain, a bid to every single NCAA tournament during your time, is what it says as a player in the Berg. How'd you find so much success as a player here at UCM?
Well, Coach Martin, who was the coach for 4 of my 5 years, I redshirted, so I got to play for 5 years. She was, one of those coaches that can impact your life in so many ways, and I think that, her success and her belief in me really impacted me as a player. And I had a lot of really great teammates as well. A lot of my teammates are also in the Hall of Fame, and so I think that combination really just led us to have a lot of fun and a lot of success.
So you're currently the head coach for Jennies Volleyball right now. How much did that experience as a player, did all of that success help you, shape you to the coach you are today?
I think that my loyalty to the program is pretty strong, and so because it's a team and a program that I care so much about, it makes all the long nights and the weekends away a lot easier because I care about the team so much. But I think just the players that we have every year, their dedication to the program really makes it a rewarding job for us.
And talking about some of those coaches you played under the Hall of Famer Peggy Martin. Then your senior year, you played under Flip Piontek. How much of those coaches helped shape you to where you are today?
They're the whole reason I'm here. I really have always loved athletics, but they both really encouraged me to kind of get into the career path and helped me a lot as a GA and a young coach. And I actually still talk to them every week pretty much, just questions or just checking in. So they've helped me as an athlete, as a young coach, and even still I talk to them frequently.
And back when you graduated with your bachelor's in 2009, there's a bachelor's in accounting for you. What was the draw to accounting back in the day?
I'm kind of a nerd, so I think I just like numbers and math, and I knew I had to go get a job and do something, and so that seemed like a place where I could, have a good career and make some money for my family. And Coach Martin asked me one day, what my plan was, and I was like, I go get a job and have a family. And she, said of all the players that I've coached in the past, I think you would make the best coach. And that moment right there changed my life. And so I think the next day I added a minor in coaching for my undergrad and got a master's in exercise science to kind of start my career in the coaching field.
So then after your graduation with your master's, you went on to coach under your former head coach, Peggy Martin, at Spring Hill College at Mobile, Alabama. So was that a big move for you? You'd been here at UCM for a little bit. Was that a big jump to Alabama?
Yeah, I'm from Kansas, so about 3.5 hours from here, and so being that far away was quite a jump for my family, but I respect her so much, and she has so much wisdom that I knew that I couldn't pass up an opportunity to work for her. Playing for her is one thing, but getting to kind of see the behind-the-scenes part of the coaching world was really beneficial for me to go spend some time with her.
And then the next year you moved back here to UCM to coach under another one of your former head coaches, Flip Piontek. So was that maybe the reason you came back that distance, or what else drew you back here?
Yes, my boyfriend at the time was a GA for the football team here, and he had actually just moved here when I moved to Alabama, and so I moved back, and now we're married with 3 kids. So I'd say it worked out pretty good.
So we've talked about Peggy Martin. Peggy Martin's a Hall of Famer, and so are you, the UCM Athletic Hall of Fame, as well as the MIAA Hall of Fame. What's it like to be a Hall of Famer?
It's a nice honor, but I think it's really a testament to our success as a team. Nobody gets put in the Hall of Fame or, wins awards when their team doesn't win, and so I think that, my teammates and our coaches, it's really a testament to them as well.
So you've really climbed the ladder in Jennies volleyball, student athlete to assistant coach, associate, senior associate, head coach. In your opinion, how much does climbing that ladder, having all of those experience and all of those roles, help you be the head coach you are today?
I do think it helps with, my management of our staff. So I've been the GA, I know what it's like, I know what, the difficulties are, and so when I can help our GA through that. I've been the assistant, I can help, work through some of the struggles there with travel planning and all of those things, and I've also been an athlete here, and so it's been a while, so I'm not as fresh as some of the younger ones, but I remember what it's like, and I think that can kind of help me just fill in the little pieces for our program.
So last season was very successful for Jennies volleyball in 2023. You won 10 matches against, or 10 games, whatever, against the top 25 team. Top 25 teams, if I can talk. 10 matches against the top 25 teams. How do you find so much success against those ranked opponents?
Last year we had 7 seniors, and they were all 5th years, so they had been here for a long time. They had been through a lot of ups and downs and struggles and challenges, and I think their ability to believe in each other and to not back down when times get tough, because they weren't winning all those games 3-0. A lot of those games we won in 5, or we'd drop a set, but they really believed in each other, and I think that was really the biggest piece of that.
And talking about those rankings, when you're playing a ranked opponent, or maybe when you are ranked, is that ever something you look at or think about?
I know that they do. We don't really, put a lot of weight on it, because the rankings are just a number, and a lot of teams that are ranked high maybe don't play the same strength of schedule as we do. But I think that especially when we're playing somebody ranked above us, it does give us a little bit more of an edge, a little more chip on our shoulder that maybe they think they're better than us, but we're going to prove it wrong, kind of a deal.
So that last season you were named the 2023 MIAA Coach of the Year. How much of an honor is that award to get?
I mean, it should be the coaching staff of the year. I can't do it by myself, and so I think that the fact that we leave off, assistants and volunteers and GAs and managers and trainers, I think is a little disservice to the rest of them. But it's just a testament to the program as a whole and what those girls did. Because again, nobody's the coach of the year if you don't win games. So our girls really kind of earned that honor for themselves.
And now talking about this season for a second, I know it's probably not the record you want to see, but how do you fight through that adversity to keep staying positive and go next game basis? Yeah,
we really talk about, today being the best that we can be today, and that we can't really worry about, games in the future and whatever's happening down the road and postseason and all of that. But our job, our one and only job, is to get better today. Are we being the best at practice today so we can be better for tomorrow? If we have a match, are we focused on today's match only, or this set, or this point, to work on getting us a little momentum? Because if we get some momentum, I think we've got it from last week. We got a good win against Missouri Southern. If we can get some momentum going, we can win some games, and all of our goals are still out in front of us.
And you've talked about that momentum. In 10 of your 19 matches so far, you've won the first set. How important is that first set? I know you want to win them all, but how important is it to get that first one?
I think, to come out and have a strong start really gives you a little bit of confidence, going into set 2 and 3. We've had a few where we weren't quite ready, and it's, if it's a preparation thing or whatever, but, a really strong start can kind of put your opponent on their heels, and that's really what our goal is to do.
So last season at home, you were 10-1. That's at the multipurpose building now named the Jerry M. Hughes Athletic Center. How much of a home court advantage is the Hughes Center now?
Well, especially with our new Terraflex court, we just got a new playing surface that is pretty incredible. It's what the Olympics are played on, and a lot of the top Division I programs all have this Terraflex, and it's a surface that's much better to play on for volleyball. It makes diving on the floor better. It's a little bit easier on their knees with all the jumping, and so I think that's really, really nice that we have that for our program now. And it helps with recruiting as well, and it's kind of fun to watch our visiting teams come in and ooh and awe at how nice the floor is. So that's been a really nice addition to our home games.
And talking about that Terraflex floor, could you tell me how that kind of came about to get that in the Hughes Center?
About a year and a half ago, I had a meeting with our new athletic director, Dr. Hadank, and he kind of was going through, some opportunities for us where we can get better, some of the things that would really help our program, and that was one of the things on the top of my list. And he went to work and made it happen for us. So we're really thankful to our, the department and their support and investment in our program.
And still talking about the home court advantage, last season you set a single game attendance record. How special was that game? How did that come about?
It was really the perfect storm because we did a promotion for free entry for all local club volleyball players in the Kansas City area. And it just so happened that it was also senior night, and the way that the conference had turned out, if we would win that match, we would win the conference outright. And so it was just this perfect, combination of all these things that had to come together. And then I think the crowd truly helped us. We played incredible and won 3-0. So it was, I've been here almost 20 years. Probably my best memory, my most memorable match of my career at UCM.
And looking back at now this season, what has been working for Jennies Volleyball this year? Can you talk me through the team just a little bit?
Yeah, it's interesting as we, every year you lose players and gain players, and what we've really struggled with in the past, are some of our strengths this year. And so trying to figure out, chemistry and new leadership and all of that has been something that we are continuing to work on. But what I'm really happy with is the development of some of our younger players, as well as the continued growth of our upperclassmen. We're playing 2 or 3 freshmen at any point in time. We have quite a few sophomores in the game, and then some juniors and seniors that are kind of leading the way. And so I think that we've still got a lot of volleyball left to play this year, and the future is looking good.
And what's the big takeaway from Jennies Volleyball this year? If someone came up to you and was like, tell me about the program, tell me about this team, just a couple sentences, what would you tell them?
We're a family, and I have 3. Me and my 2 assistants, we're moms. We have a family, we have kids. Our kids are around a lot, and our players are really an extension of our family. We try to support them off the floor, in the classroom, just their daily lives as much as we do in volleyball. And so I think that that's one thing that we really try to, get our recruits to understand, is that when you come here to play volleyball, it's not just, how many games can you win for us? It's about, being a family and being there for all the highs and lows.
And while we have a second, could you just talk me through what's on the horizon for Jennies Volleyball?
So this week we head out tomorrow for Central Oak and Fort Smith. We've never, this group's never played at Fort Smith. They're new to the conference. So that'll be an interesting match to go see that place for the first time. And then we have another road trip next weekend, and then we finish the regular season at home on November 15th and 16th.
Well, Coach Peterson, thank you for spending part of your morning with us here on Sportspage. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to meet Jennies Middle Blocker, Rachel Ziesman. Sportspage returns right after this. Welcome back to Sportspage. In this next segment, we will be joined by Jennies Volleyball Middle Blocker, Rachel Ziesman. Rachel's a junior for Jennies Volleyball who comes from Shawnee, Kansas. The St. James Academy product leads Jennies Volleyball in blocks and is in the top 3 in kills for the Gens. First team All-MIAA selection last season in 2023, as well as a part of the MIAA Academic Honor Roll that same season. This is Rachel Ziesman right here on Sportspage. So to start, Rachel, a lot of people probably know you as a very successful volleyball player because, you are, but now I think it's a good time to meet you personally a little bit. So first, just what's your favorite color?
I have a lot of favorite colors, but if I had to choose one, I would probably say pink. The most basic girl answer, but probably pink.
Okay. So what's a favorite food? What's the go-to food, snack, wherever route you want to go there?
My favorite food is probably sushi. I've grown up on sushi, and I love to explore sushi places everywhere. So yeah, I'd say sushi.
Any roll that's your favorite sushi roll?
when I was younger, obviously the basic California, but now that I'm older, I've ventured, and I've honestly like never tried one that I don't like. So if I go to a restaurant, yeah, I'm just ordering whatever my friends want to eat, because I'm a splitter. We all get one and then we all split. So I don't have like a specific that I like get every time, but yeah.
So you're a successful volleyball player. Do you have any other, maybe a hidden talent?
Hidden talent. I can do the splits, and I can still do like a round off back handspring. I was a gymnast when I was younger. Obviously that had to go since I'm so tall, but those are probably my two.
So when you watch sports for yourself, who are those sports teams that you root for?
The Chiefs and the Royals. I'm from Kansas City, like you said, so those two big teams. I can't really say like, I'm just kind of like a bandwagoner. Like, I'm from there, so I'm going to cheer for them when they're good, you know?
Yeah, and you talked about being a gymnast, so what other sports did you play growing up?
Yeah, I played all the things. I played soccer, basketball, I did gymnastics, I did softball for a while. Yeah, I think sports is a big thing in my family, so my parents were kind of just like, here you go, and tossed me in all the sports, and yeah, I ended up obviously choosing volleyball, so yeah.
So with sports sometimes, or even in school, you can pick up nicknames. Did you pick up any that come to mind?
People call me Rachie, Rach, Ziesman. I don't really have one that like everyone calls me, but yeah, those are a few.
So back when you were younger growing up, what did you think you were going to be when you grew up?
When I was younger, I really wanted to be a pediatrician, because I have a pediatrician that obviously I went to my whole life, and she was very inspiring and was like almost like a second mom. And I was like, this is what I want to do, until I learned all the schooling for it. And she even talked to me about it. And that's when I decided, okay, well, I really like pediatrics. And that's when I decided to switch to nursing, because I also had a nurse at that same pediatrics place, and she was also very inspiring, and I had known her for 20 years, and I decided then that I wanted to do pediatric nursing.
So you were talking about your major in nursing, so that's what got you into it? You're those other people in your life?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm talking about UCM as a whole, where you are majoring in nursing. Why UCM? I know there are probably other schools with volleyball. You were successful in high school. Why UCM above all the others?
UCM was very stand out to me because of the way that the program was, and obviously we've had a very successful legacy, and the program is very successful in itself. Another thing that was very important to me was that I was going to be a nurse. That was decided, and a lot of schools don't let you do nursing and volleyball just because they're both so heavy, and obviously athletics is heavy in nursing as well. So it was very cool to me that they would let me do nursing as well as play volleyball. And when I was on my visit here, Caitlin talked to me about how they have leeway, and they've had a lot of girls get through it and do it. And so that was kind of the moment I knew, like, wow, well, school is obviously very important for me, and that's what I want to do, and I wasn't willing to change that. And UCM was the honestly like the picture perfect place for me, because I could do both of the things.
And you've talked about nursing and volleyball both being heavy and just getting through it, but you've done more than that. You're the part of the MIAA academic honor roll last season. So how do you balance those academics and athletics? Yeah,
I have found that the library is my friend. In high school, I didn't really have to study a lot, and yeah, so when I got to college is obviously a lot different, and especially being a nursing major, it's kind of a tough one. And so I've also utilized tutors, but yeah, I would say finding study groups and using the library, using all the resources that I've had, and managing time is also a big thing. So like, I have to section out my days before I like live them, because then I'll know I need to study from this time to this time, and that's like a non-negotiable.
So it is a true balancing act between academics and athletics. You got the academic side and also the athletic side. You were first team all MIAA last season. How does it feel to be one of the best volleyball players in the MIAA?
Yeah, it's nice to get recognized for all the hard work, but like Caitlin said earlier, you don't get recognized unless your teammates aren't helping you out. And we were a great team last year, and I would have not been able to touch what I did last year if my teammates weren't there to help me and to get me through it and to be by my side through the whole thing. So it's really just a testament to the team.
And you've talked about your teammates helping you out, but also it takes a lot of work. Can you talk me through like the unseen, like a day in the life? How do you become one of the best players in the MIAA?
Yeah, showing up to practice every day. we talk about getting 1% better every day. So another thing is we're here in this moment and we're only going to focus on today has been a big theme of the year. So just knowing that this hard work and practice, obviously practice sometimes isn't the best and it kind of sucks, but knowing that if you show up for today, then I can show up for tomorrow and just continuously be on an incline rather than trying to like set these crazy goals and going on like a roller coaster. So just showing up every day, giving your best, and that's all you can do. So
you've talked about that incline, and to get on that incline, you've talked about your teammates, but then there's also the coaches. How much have those coaches helped shape you to where you are today?
Yes, they have definitely made me a different person than when I stepped in here as a freshman. From just being there for me off the court and on the court, they have guided me so well, and I'm very thankful to have them as my coaches because they do care obviously about volleyball and they want me to be the best player, but they also want me to be the best woman, the best student. They talk about be the best volleyball player, but also be the best in the classroom, be the best in the interview, like all that kind of stuff. And so I think they are my coaches in volleyball, but they're also like life coaches, and they give us like crash courses on different things. Kate used to talk to us each Monday or Friday about like a mom moment and like just give you advice on life rather than just seeing them as like, oh, you're just my volleyball coach, you know.
And now talking about that Jennies volleyball team this season, what do people need to know about this group?
Yeah, this is a special group, and we have been working very hard to get this chemistry going, and I think we can't look at the past. Like I said, we need to do one day at a time, and I think we had a really, really great win on Friday, and that's the best that I felt the chemistry all year, and so I think it's looking up, and I'm very, very excited because we have 2 big opportunities this weekend, and I think that we're all going to come together, and no matter who's out there, no matter who's on the bench is just as important as the floor, and I think that we're all really working together, and we're finding that like groove that we need.
And you have a lot of people who come and support you at those games, and some people don't necessarily know a whole lot about volleyball sometimes. What would you tell someone who comes to you and they don't know a lot about the sport? What would you tell them about the sport that you love?
I would tell them it's the most basic answer would be it's just don't let the ball drop. A lot of people describe volleyball as, you know, hot potato or whatever, but obviously that's a big thing that you can tell. But I would just say for the people that don't really know a lot, come and enjoy, but also like just watch. Like it's such a team sport, and if like you just close your eyes and listen, hearing the communication, like hearing all of that stuff is what's really important with volleyball, because obviously it's non-contact and you need everyone on the floor to work together to win. So yeah.
So you've carried much success into this season. You currently lead Jennies Volleyball in blocks and are top 3 in kills. How do you stay so consistent for the Gens?
Yeah, like I said, it's kind of like you just show up every day, give it your best. But again, I wouldn't be able to be here in this position if it wasn't for my teammates, and my teammates pushing me in practice, and my teammates pushing me in the spring off season, because a lot of us have a lot of growth during the spring season. We don't play obviously as much. We only have like 3 dates of actual play, but that's where we really get to the nitty gritty and the discipline and all of that kind of stuff and the basics, which in college you wouldn't think you would get down to the basics anymore. That's what you do when you're like 10 years old. But I think showing up in the spring and yeah, just knowing that doing these basic skills are going to help you get to where like I am now, because I did the hard things during the spring, and now I'm being rewarded, and my teammates are being rewarded throughout the season. And
talking about those stats again, specifically kills, you had 20 kills recently at Pittsburgh State at that game. What was working for you in that match?
Yeah, for some reason they were very hard to block. So you said I was doing well in blocks. So for me, I was kind of struggling with blocking. It wasn't something that I was excelling in that game. So I was like, we always talk about if you're struggling in one area, like try to excel in another. And so I felt myself struggling and blocking, and so I was like, I need to do something. And that happened to be swinging and getting kills. And like I said, if it wasn't for my passers and for my setters, I wouldn't be able to do that. But yeah, we were running a lot of different things and confusing the other team's blockers. We were switching up a lot of things, which I think helped for sure. But yeah. And talking about those setters, you talked about it a little bit. How much of a help have they been for you, at least all season long? Yeah, well, obviously I can't get a kill, or no one can get a kill if we don't have a setter. So we've worked a lot with like connections. So like we'll split off and just setters and middles will go together, because it's very important to have a good connection with your setter, and it's also very important to communicate with your setters. So that's something that we've done a lot this year, because obviously we didn't have the same setter as last year. And so it's pretty much 3 new setters that we've been working through, and they're all great, and they're all very supportive and love to talk through the things. So yeah.
So last season you recorded your first double-double for Jennies Volleyball, 11 blocks, 10 kills in that 3-1 victory over Missouri Western. How special was that day for you?
Yeah, it was special, but it was more special because obviously we got a win, and that meant that we were going to go to the championship. So in that moment, I was just soaking in the fact that the year before we had lost to Pitt in the first round, and so it meant a lot to me that we were going to just have another day, because when you're at the tournament, you win, you get the other day, but if you lose, you go home. And so it was very special to me that our team just got to go out on the floor and play for that championship game against Kearney, which we had played a few weeks before and swept at home for senior night. So we were all really excited, and I would say I was just more excited to be able to play one more time.
And to be successful, most people you have to have goals, either day by day or year by year goals. What are some of those goals for you?
Yeah, I think goals this year were to be a better leader. I wouldn't say statistically I had set any goals for myself, because I'm just kind of more of like I'm going to do my best, and I'm going to come in and work hard, and I'll be rewarded in that aspect. So I'm working this year on just being a better leader. And obviously we set the big goals of you want to win the national championship and you want to win the MIAA and all that stuff. But my goal and our goal for this weekend is to win on Friday. We're only going to focus on Friday, and then once we win on Friday, then we're going to focus on Saturday. So I would just say overall my only goal was to get better as a leader and to help lead the team, and then obviously we made goals aside from that.
And then when we have a quick second, just big picture, what's next for yourself?
Yeah, obviously we got the rest of the season. We've got a lot of games left, a lot of work to do. And I'll have one more season here this next fall, and I'm very excited. This year obviously isn't done, and I think we can still do a lot of things, and the goals are still within reach. So I'm really excited to have these next few weeks to really work hard and get rewards for that.
Well, Rachel, congratulations on all of your success thus far, and best of luck as you round out the regular season. That's all the time we have for this episode. I'd like to thank our guests, Coach Caitlin Peterson and Rachel Ziesman, for joining me, and hope you'll tune in next time for Sports Page.